I got it recording. Okay, good. So yeah, let me show you. So, so if you want, let me go up here and clear it. All right, so you have stat edit gets you into your lists. So you put your first group into list 1, you put your second group into list 2, and then you go to list 3, and you can't do it when your cursor is here. Your cursor has to be literally on the L3 itself. So you have to arrow up so you're on the L3 itself, and then you can do L1 minus L2. So I'm going to do L1 minus L2, so I need to do L1, so that's going to be second 1, that gives me my L1, second L1, minus second, and then L2, hit the 2, and then as soon as I hit enter, so you can see it down here, as long as your cursor's up there, then it'll pop them in here. If you do it from this spot here, it's going to give you an error. Okay, great. So then I want
but then it says minus 190. How does
okay, so then you want
minus 190 some odd numbers.
wait, hold on. So we want the mean and standard deviation of this. So we're going to go stat, calc, 1 bar stat of L3, right, second L3, and that will give you your mean and standard deviation. So you're saying that your problem is slightly different. Let's see. So
when I hit L1 minus L2, and then I hit enter.
Yep.
It gives me minus 190 or some number, so that means.
Okay, so let me grab this. Did you use decimals for all of your numbers in here?
Yeah, for the data, yeah.
Yep. Oh, and the other question is, you should get negative numbers here, but there should be decimals. Oh, yeah, go ahead and share your screen.
I don't know if you can see mine.
Speaker view?
No.
It's too blurry. I can't see it.
Can you see it or no?
No, I can't. Can you hold it up a little higher? Higher? Oh, it's dark. It's totally dark. It's turned off. No, look at your calculator. Look at your calculator.
Okay.
Is it on or off?
It's on.
Oh. Yeah, I totally can't see that. Okay, sorry about that.
I mean, the bottom it flashes where I put L1 minus L2, and after that, when I hit enter, it gives me those minus 190 or some numbers. That's where I'm stuck.
Okay, so you might have a fancier one. So if you have a really fancy one, then you have to have, no, it doesn't happen. And you're doing it in here where you're actually on L3?
Yeah. I'm on L3.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
We'll come back to it later, maybe.
Yeah.
But the rest of it, I know how to do it.
Okay.
But I will figure this out.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on, and you and I can talk about that offline without in front of, not with everybody here.
Yeah.
Unless anybody here has a solution. Okay. So so today we're going to finish up 9.4, and then we're going to review chapters 7 through 9, and then we are going. Don't forget, due today you have Connect Math 9.3 due today, and then Sunday you have 9.4 due, and then next Thursday you have lab 5 that you can turn in late for full credit. I just need your spreadsheet, so either your Excel spreadsheet or a link to your Google Sheets, and then you need to send me pictures of the last 2 pages of the handouts, because those are going to be actual physical pages. Exam 3 is on Tuesday. It is 5 days from today. And the best way to prepare for that is by doing the Exam 3 study guide, which is in Canvas under Exam Study Guides. So go ahead and download that and do those problems, and then compare. And the solutions are also there too, so check your solutions as well. I'll be doing a review session on Monday from 3 to 4:30, and then from 6:30 to 8 on Zoom. So here's the meeting number to click into, or the link. It's just my regular office hours, so that's easy enough. All right, so again, if you need a T-table or a magic formula sheet, then email me. You can pick them up at my house, or I can mail them to you. I have lots of them. If you come to pick them up at my house, just grab the whole packet, because I have tons of them, tons of all of those. You just take the whole packet. If you need a TI calculator or a webcam or a laptop, then all you need is your LTC student ID, and email me what you need, and I can try to get it from you, because we have a bunch of resources for students, and you can probably check it out from the library on campus. We just have to set up a time for you to pick it up and confirm that it's available. If you don't have an ID, then you can get a TI calculator or webcam from me with a deposit. I just need that. Just talk to me, work it out, and we can sort that out. Or if none of those options work for you, then email me and we can try to figure something out. Okay, exam 3. Actually, Millie, go ahead and read this.
Yep. You may take it at 2 p.m., 5 p.m., 7:30 p.m. on April 21st, but it must be at one of these times. Let me know if you are taking it at a different time than your class. Do the practice test for exam 1. Or one exam point. My bad.
That's okay.
In-camp quizzes, which must be done in Google Chrome browser. You also need a webcam. If you do not have a webcam, email me for alternative tests and what time you want to do it. So you can Zoom on your phone with me. You must take this practice exam before April 21st. If you do not, then you can not get factorial working correctly, then you will have to take a 0 on the exam.
Great, thanks. Right, so now that you have to take this exam, I don't have any sort of variability on these times. It has to be one of these times on this date. There isn't any flexibility with this situation we have in front of us. But if you want to take it at a different time in your class, let me know, because you have to be in that Canvas site. So I'll have to add you to that class's Canvas. And again, you have to do the practice exam. The practice test, it's under quizzes in Canvas. It's one of your points. You have 100 points for your exam. That's one of your points. You have to do it in the Chrome browser. And do it before April 21st, because we need to figure out if you have a problem beforehand. Angel, do you have a question?
Yeah, for the exam, I know you said you wanted our cameras facing our hands, but how are we supposed to, like, be able to see the screen if our, like, computers are?
So do you have Angel, can you tilt it, is it laptop where you can tilt it down slightly?
Slightly, yes,
okay.
But when I take, like, tests for my other courses, like, I don't know that you would be able to see my hands and me see the screen at the same time.
Right. So that's why I was telling you guys, get a couple of large books. Right, so I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see me. I don't know if you guys can see me, but I have like a couple of books that are kind of thick, like they're maybe like you know, an inch. They're a thicker textbook. And then when I tilt it down slightly, I move my laptop back a little bit, so I have kind of this 18 inches worth of working space here between me and my computer. And then when I tilt it down slightly, then you can totally see enough of your hands. You don't have to see all of your hands, just you know, the tops of your hands. And you can be less than that. So I can still totally see the screen here. And I don't have to see everything that you're working on, like I said, just as long as I kind of know where you're at, so I know if you're like looking at your phone or not looking at your phone and stuff like that. So that's the thing. This is tilted down just slightly, not super, you know, extremely tilted down, just a little bit. And that's why it helps. If I don't have these books here, then it's a lot tougher, you know, to kind of do that. I'd have to tilt it down a little bit more, and that's, harder. So just, like I said, it's a little bit of a workaround, but just, grab a textbook that's kind of thick, or magazines, or so many different things you can grab. Anything that would raise it up just like a couple inches. I know it's just kind of
Okay. And then I know for other classes, like sometimes it'll make you take a picture of your face and then it'll flag you, like if it can't see your face. Are we gonna have to take a picture of our face and then because you want it down?
I don't care about your face.
Okay.
Right, and I'll see your face when you first come in, right? But I mean, that's it. It's no big deal. I just need to see your hands and what you're doing. I mean, obviously at some point, the beginning, I should see your face just in the beginning, but not. It's not like you're going to be there and all of a sudden magically someone else's hands are going to be there, right? I mean, if I see you in the beginning, then the hands that are working are going to be yours because you can't. You can't magically swap out and become somebody else. So yeah, don't worry about that. Because again, I'm not focusing on your face the whole time. I'm focusing on, I don't care about where your eyes are or your eye movements or whatever. I care about, what you're physically doing. If you're, and means if you reach out and grab something, don't do something far away from you. Do it, grab it, bring it back in front of you, and then look at it there. Does that make sense? Do you guys know what I'm saying? Should I show you what I'm talking about?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So, I mean, I'll show you what I'm doing. So, if you're working on stuff, don't look at things over here and be looking at stuff over there. Grab your things, pull it over here, and then be looking at it here so I know what you're looking at. Don't be doing stuff over here. Just grab it, bring it over here and look at it here. Okay. So this is,
Mrs. Young?
yeah.
Are you done with the last question?
I think so. Go ahead. Yes.
So the practice exam, are we adhering to the same guidelines, or the practice exam isn't through proctoring?
It is. So this practice exam is basically for you to see so you get used to Proctorio and how it works and how to upload things. So when you go in there, you're going to have to do the test, and then below that says upload your results. You need to upload them as well. So you will do this part here, which is proctored. And after you do that there, you'll have 5 minutes to, when this is over, you'll have 5 minutes to upload them to take pictures of them and upload them into this. And this is just an upload spot. This is not Proctorio on the bottom. This is just you uploading what you've taken pictures of on your quiz papers. So if you go to quizzes, these show up here under your quizzes. Actually, the middle one won't because I haven't assigned it to anybody yet until I talk to them and they don't have a webcam. So then I would assign this only to people without a webcam. Okay. Good. All right. Great. All right, so a couple more things. One is, if you end up doing an XW, you can keep your exam 1 grade and your homework grades and your project grades and just retake it with me in the fall, and then just come in and what you do is you probably start class after the first 6 weeks, and then you can that way you review chapter 5 and chapter 6 and then take the exam 2, and then go through 7, 8, 9. You don't have to redo the homework, just I'd say go to class because you probably want to review that stuff. It's from here to November. If you don't look at it between now and November, that's a long time. You probably just want to go to class and then take that exam. And you can keep your exam 1 grade if you're happy with it. If you're not happy with it, you can redo it all. But I'm just saying that if you do take an XW, you can retake it with me in the fall and keep those parts, because I know it kind of really messed up a lot of people who were doing really well, and then now they're in this online environment and it kind of messes them up, and you don't have to start all over again. You can skip the first 6 weeks. Since, that's kind of standalone a little bit. Okay. extra credits for exams 3 and 4, come to my online Zoom office hours. I have online Zoom office hours 5 hours a week, and show me your complete quizzes and chapter notes to get up to 2 points extra credit for exam 3 and also for exam 2. Do that before exam 24, before the end of next week for exam 3. And then also Canvas, I've updated it to have a bunch of things that are really useful, like the XW and PMP forums, and also instructions on how to get to my house to pick up stuff if you need to. So that is kind of all in here, right? The schedule of handouts we need, links to Zoom lectures, oops, I don't know why it went away, and for the forms and things like that, information about the exam, handouts, T-table, magic formula sheet, and then also links to the video, our lecture videos. Okay. Great. Megan, can you go to read this one for me?
Exam 3 will cover chapters 7, 8, and 9. The study guide is in Canvas under study guide. You will also need your T-table, magic formula sheet, half page of handwritten notes, and 6 blank papers with your class time, initials, and W number written at the top. If you are taking the exam at a different time, please write that also. Once you start the exam, you will have 5 minutes to scan the area in front of you, your working area, and get your camera position so that it shows your hands. If using a webcam attached to your computer, I suggest maybe making a raised working area by putting a couple large books down. They should be closed, not open to a page.
Good. And then I think people have mentioned that it's a little bit harder to read, like I said, because your screen will be tilted slightly down. Hopefully not too. The further away you kind of move it, the less down it'll be tilted. And if you have that raised platform, then it really wouldn't be that tilted at all. But I am going to give you probably an extra, so it's an hour and 50-minute exam. And I usually give you guys 10 minutes of bonus time. I'll probably give you 30 minutes of bonus time. So it'll be a total of 2 hours and 20 minutes to take it. Just because sometimes it's a little bit harder to read it online and you can't circle stuff or whatever. So I'm just going to make you, I can give you guys an extra 20 minutes. That's not a problem. So, 2 hours and 20 minutes total to take it. All right. So let's go and take a look at 9.4. This is dependent samples. And again, remember the thing about this is that it's when this first thing and the second thing are related. So these two are really the same person, right? They're the same group. This is the president and who they beat. This is another president who they beat. So these are connected to each other. This one goes with this one. This one goes with that one. This one goes with this one. So what we do is the toughest part is realizing it's dependent, and you can see it because they're matched up in these pairs. If you don't do them that way, and you take this as the first sample, this is the second sample, and do them independently, you're going to lose 8 points on the exam. That's almost a whole grade on that exam. So it's really important that you be able to determine that these are dependent, because it makes a big difference. You do not get the same results. So what you need to do when you do these, it's really easy. Once you recognize it's dependent, and they're matched up in these pairs, you subtract them. And then we just do a one sample t-test on these differences. So these are all my little differences down here. So I labeled them D. I'm just going to do a one sample t-test just on the differences themselves. So you don't care anymore about these ones here. Now it no longer matters that you have this upper step. So we're going to cross that out. We're not even going to pay attention to the individual data anymore. We only care about just the differences. The rest of it just kind of goes away. And that makes it really easy. So it's just like a chapter 8, one sample t-test. Here's some notation. Again, the little d, all those little d's are all those individual differences when you subtracted those two. Those are all the little d's. UD would be the population average, population mean of all of them, if you happen to know all of them that existed out there in the world in the past, present, and future, which is impossible. And then X bar D, D bar, you might want to write as X bar D because that's a little bit more familiar with you guys. It's your sample mean, right? So you take all these little differences and then you find the mean of those. That's your x bar. And then you have S also as well, your standard deviation, and then N, the number of them you have, the number of differences you have, the number of pairs you have. Step 3 is, again, it's just like your step 3 for your single sample hypothesis test. You have your D bar, which is really, think of it like your X bar D. So X bar, your sample mean of those little tiny differences, minus your mu D, which will always be 0. Anytime we're talking about 2 samples, the mu D is always going to be 0 for our class. It can be other things if you get more advanced, but in terms of our class, this is always, the differences are always going to be 0. This 0 is only true for the chapter 9, the 2 samples. Don't go pulling in 0 for chapter 8. Only for chapter 9, this mu D will be 0. And that's divided by S over square root of N, where N minus 1 is the degrees of freedom. So I think you guys are ready to go over quiz 9.4, I think, right? Yes? Does anybody need another minute or two? Let me know if you need another minute or two. Okay, I'm going to guess you guys are all ready to go. Okay. So again, these guys are all matched up. So my claim is that when I subtract them, let's see, the average in deposits was less 3 years ago than it is today. So 3 years ago was less than today. So I take the first one and subtract the second one, I should get a number less than 0. If the first one, mu1, is smaller than mu2, if mu1 is smaller than mu2, then I should get a negative number. It should be less than 0. So here it's less than. The less than means less than 0. The difference should be less than 0. So again, remember, this goes back to that whole, we're talking about mu d. Mu d is mu1 minus mu2. So you can either write it as mu1 minus mu2 is less than 0, or just mu d is less than 0. Right? So here I'm saying that h naught is always equals. So it's going to be that mu d equals 0. And that's not my claim. My claim is that mu d is less than 0. And again, you can write that, if you want, you can write that as mu1 minus mu2 is less than 0. So that's your step 1. And then you also have to find your x bar d and your SD. So what you're going to do is put this into list 1, put that into list 2, subtract them and get your list 3, and then do calc 1 bar stats on list 3, and you'll get your x bar d is negative 1.081, and your S is 1.937. I think that's correct. Is that what people got? Angel, what'd you get? Yeah. Angel, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, mine was different. I just had a question about it after you've, finished all of that.
Okay. Okay, did everybody get these for your mean and standard deviation, or was my earlier class wrong? Okay, so you guys got that?
I got those.
Okay, good. Perfect.
Would there be a difference? I got the same standard deviation but a different x bar?
You shouldn't. You really shouldn't, especially if you got the same S.
Yeah, never mind. I looked at the wrong number.
Okay, sounds good. So that's why we're doing this in class. You guys can practice, right, before the exam. All right, so then the critical value, my degrees of freedom, there's 9 of them, right? So I'm going to do 9 minus 1 is 8. So I'm going to pull up my t-table. My alpha 0.01, right, and then it's less than, so it's left-tailed. Less than means left-tailed. So it's going to be one-tailed to the left. So alpha is 0.05, one-tailed test, 0.05 is the second column here, and it's 9 minus 1, so it's 8. So it's right here, 1.860, right there. That's my critical value. So I'm going to use that, draw that into my picture, negative, and it's negative because it's left-tailed. Less than, right, less than means left-tailed. So shade to the left, and negative 1.860. Then I'm going to do my test stat. So my x bar 1, which we said was negative 1.081 minus mu d. That's my claim. My claim was 0, so that's going to be 0 there. Over s, 1.937 over square root of n, square root of 9. And if you do that, you should get negative 1.675. Pop that in here, and that's what you get. So this, my test stat, is clearly in the not guilty, not enough evidence, do not reject H naught area. That's what that means. It's in this area here, which means that you're not going to reject H naught. You do not have enough evidence. So do not reject H naught. I do not have enough evidence. Remember, if you're not here on step 4, you're going to be not here on step 5. Either both not or they both aren't. So that means you do not have enough evidence to support because, again, my claim was H1, so I'm use the word support there, claim that the banks made less 3 years ago, or something like that. The deposits in banks was less 3 years ago. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the last problem of your chapter 9 notes. Go to chapter 9 notes. Or we're going to. Sorry, go ahead. Oh, yeah, Angel, you had a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, I did. So my group overall did it differently. Like the way that I had asked you about prior to the class starting, where we had our it was our. I mean, for me at least, I'm speaking for myself here. I had it set up to where mu d was greater than 0.
Okay.
And so all the numbers you got, mine were split.
Yeah. So that's okay. So you can.
Test,
totally fine. You'll get the same result. You'll get a positive, so it'll be positive 1.86 over here, and you'll get positive 1.675. If you get a negative 1.675, then you're going to be in trouble. But if you did it your way, then you'd have to do today minus 3 days ago. So this would be your mu1. Today would be mu1, and 3 years ago would be mu2, and you switch them. So you do the lower one minus the top one, and you get a positive 1.81 there. So you get a positive 1.675 here.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, and then that's totally fine. That's no problem. What I'd like you guys to do now is take a look at the last problem on your chapter 9 notes, which is on page 28. That's the last thing we're going to do. We're not going to do lab problem 7. Lab problem 7 is the confidence interval, so we're not going to do that one. But we're going to change a couple things. So here on your paper, it'll say change, will change. And I don't want to do that. I want to say remains the same. And then down here it says, can it be concluded that the cholesterol has been changed? We're going to, again, change that to remains the same. Because someone said, hey, we should really do a problem where the claim is H naught. Because on the exam, you're going to get a problem where the claim is H naught. Since you're going to get one of them on the exam, you should practice one. So here, my claim is remains the same. If before and after remain the same, what are they? Are they less than, greater than, equal to, or not equal to? If they remain the same.
Equal.
They're equal. Exactly. So if they remain the same, they're going to be equal, which means that my claim is H naught in this case. So this time H naught will be my claim, which means that H1 will be the opposite of my claim, not equal to. Is that making sense for folks? So here, if I can do it, I'll try doing it with my pencil. So here my claim will be that mu1 minus mu2 will be the same. So the difference is 0, which means that H naught is my claim, right? Mu1 minus mu2 equals 0, or mu d. You can just write mu d if you want. That's the same thing. So then H1 will be then, since this is my claim, H naught, then H1 becomes the opposite of that. Becomes mu1 minus mu2 is not equal to 0. Right? Remember, whenever my claim is H naught, then H1 becomes the opposite of my claim, not equal to. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and send you back out to your groups. Work on it for 10 minutes, and then at 6 o'clock, work on it for 9 minutes. At 6 o'clock, take a break until 6:10. I'll bring you guys back in at 6:10. Okay, so your breakout rooms, go ahead and start them up. And again, if you're on your own to take a break. Take a break at 6.